clicked on this video, chances are you've tried carnivore. You've cleared out your fridge, stocked up on steak, and said a tearful goodbye to your avocado and fully committed. You expected magic, and instead, crickets. The scale isn't budging, or worse, it's going up. Now, before you assume your metabolism is broken, your body hates you, or you're destined to wear elastic waistbands forever, take a breath. You are not alone, and you are not the problem. So let's dive into the top 5 reasons that you may not be losing weight on carnivore, and most importantly, what we can do about it. This is going to be equal parts of science, sass, and straight talk, because that's the way that I roll. So grab a coffee, maybe with a little cream, and let's go. Reason number 1, you're eating too much fat and not enough protein. Let's call this what it is, the steak and butter on everything trap. Now, carnivore for some becomes an all-you-can-eat fat buffet. But fat, my friend, is not free food. I don't care how zero carb it is. Let's talk metabolic math. Fat is 9 calories per gram. It's energy dense, and your body is super smart. If you're feeding it more fat than it needs to survive, it has zero incentive to burn stored body fat. But Patricia, I'm not eating that much. Okay, but are you tracking? Are you eating high-fat ribeye, then adding butter, cream in your coffee, cheese on the side with every meal, snacking on pork belly in between meals? It all adds up. And women over 50, our metabolism is already more fuel efficient. We simply can't out-fat a slow metabolism. Now, on the flip side, too little protein is another issue. Protein supports lean muscle, thyroid function, blood sugar stability, and satiation. Under-eating protein equals under-supporting your metabolism. After 50, we need more protein, not less. But carnivore newbies often focus on high-fat ratios and forget to prioritize the one macro that actually builds our body. What to do? Shift to protein first thinking. Aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. Choose leaner cuts and add fat to satiation, not by default. Track a few days or a week on an app. My favorite is the chronometer. Not forever, just to see if what you think or assume is what it really is. Try a protein priority day a couple times a week and monitor energy, appetite, and how your clothes fit. Remember, fat fuels, but protein builds, and too much fuel without burn equals a backlog. It's like stocking your pantry while the fridge is full and wondering why food is rotting. Okay, reason number 2, your body's too stressed to burn fat. Let's talk cortisol, the hormone that ruins all your best intentions. You might be doing everything right. Fasting, low carb, no snacks, cold plunges, HIIT workouts, and still no weight loss. Why? Because your nervous system is screaming for help. So let's talk about signs that your body is stressed. If you're waking up at 3 a.m., crashing mid-afternoon, anxiety spikes after fasting or black coffee, scales creeping up, or weight is creeping up around your midsection, no hunger and no weight loss. Here's the science. High cortisol equals high glucose equals high insulin, even on zero carbs, and insulin blocks fat burning. Full stop. Also, estrogen once buffered cortisol in your younger years. Post-menopause, you're flying without a parachute. And when your cortisol is too high for too long, your body won't prioritize weight loss. It's too busy trying to keep you from falling apart. So what to do? Ditch extreme fasting if your sleep or mood is suffering. Try 12 to 14 hours. Prioritize slow, strength-based movement over high-impact everything. Eat real meals, enough to tell your body it's not starving. Don't skimp on salt or electrolytes. Low minerals equals high stress, and for the love of your nervous system, stop drinking multiple cups a day on an empty stomach all day long. Now, this is the part no one tells women over 50. You can do everything right and still gain weight if your body's in survival mode. Safety first, fat loss second. Reason number 3, you're grazing instead of letting insulin rest. Okay, be honest. Are you a grazer, even on carnivore? A few bites of cheese here, a spoonful of ground beef there, a splash of cream, and every time you refill your coffee, a few pepperoni slices just before dinner. Those little bits matter. They keep your digestion and your insulin working non-stop. Now let's talk insulin 101. Even if you're not eating carbs, your pancreas still responds to protein and fat. It's not a big spike, but it adds up. And constant grazing equals constant insulin equals no fat burning. What happens when you graze is you never hit true satiation. Your digestive system is overworked, insulin stays present, blocking fat loss, hunger cues become totally unreliable. What to do instead? Eat meals, not nibbles. 2 to 3 satisfying meals a day, spaced 4 to 6 hours apart. Hydrate between meals, not snack. Track meal times for a few days. You might be eating more often than you think. And ask yourself, am I truly hungry or just go into the kitchen again out of habit? Now, insulin needs breaks, especially in midlife. Grazing may feel harmless, but it's a metabolic sabotage in disguise. Reason number 4, you're reacting to carnivore staples. Here's the plot twist. Just because something is carnivore approved doesn't mean that it's good for your particular body. Common offenders here, especially if your body is starting unhealthy or you're suffering from autoimmune diseases, might be dairy, including cheese, cream, and butter, eggs, yes, even pasture-raised, pork, especially bacon and fatty cuts, coffee, artificial sweeteners, keto gum, and flavored electrolytes. The problem? They may trigger inflammation, histamine reactions, gut irritation, or insulin spikes, even if blood sugar looks stable. Casein in dairy? Pro-inflammatory for many women. Eggs? One of the top allergens in women over 40. Pork fat? High in omega-6, even if conventionally raised. Coffee? A gut disruptor and cortisol stimulator, double whammy. Sweeteners may stimulate insulin cravings or both. So what to do instead? Go full elimination, meaning meat, salt, water, and observe. Remove all dairy, eggs, pork, sweeteners, and additives for 7 days and reintroduce them one at a time and track your mood, bloating, digestion, cravings, skin, and the scale. Try replacing butter with ghee. Try cooking your dairy before consuming. Think cheese on your burger in the air fryer or making custard for a treat in a double boiler. While it's not a guarantee, sometimes heating or cooking dairy can reduce the allergenic properties for some bodies. At least it did for me, and it was a big win. Try replacing cow's milk with sheep or goat products. While it still contains casein, it has a different structure than cow's milk, and for some bodies, it tolerates them much better. Sometimes your stall isn't coming from doing carnivore wrong. It's from not listening to the message that your body's whispering, or sometimes shouting. Now, reason number 5, your body is healing before it's ready to lose. This might be the most important one. Let's talk about expectations versus reality. You start carnivore, you expect fat loss. What you got? Normal bowel movements, reduced joint pain, less bloating, fewer cravings, clearer skin, no more mood crashes, but the scale, not moving. And that's not failure. That's called healing, my friend. So here is a biology alert. Before your body releases fat, it will balance hormones, reduce inflammation, repair your gut lining, detox estrogen, reset leptin and insulin sensitivity. That's a lot. And depending on your history with yo-yo dieting, chronic stress, low thyroid, menopause, immunities, it takes time. Women over 50 have different hormonal landscapes. We're not failing, we're adapting. And sometimes that healing phase looks like nothing's happening, but under the surface, everything is shifting. So, how do we stay sane during this process? Track non-scale victories. Clothes fitting, skin, mood, inflammation, energy. Measure inches instead of pounds. Take progress photos. Yes, even if you hate them, you should take them. You don't have to share them. Know this, healing comes first, then fat loss follows. And if you need more flexibility or food variety, consider easing into a keto framework. It's sometimes a gentler bridge that's worked for hundreds of my clients. So let's bring this home. If carnivore isn't giving you the fat loss that you were hoping for, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because your body is smart. It's asking you to pause, pay attention, and maybe pivot. So here are your checkpoints. Are you swimming in fat and skimping on protein? Is your stress so high that your body won't release a single ounce? Are you grazing instead of resting your insulin? Could you be reacting to safe foods like dairy, eggs, or sweeteners? Is your body just in a healing phase and the fat loss is coming next? You might be on the precipice of great things. You are not broken. You are not behind. You're just in the messy middle. And trust me, that's actually where the magic happens. So drop a comment below if this hit home, especially if you have felt stuck or discouraged. Remember to like the video if you want more science and sass that tells it just like it is. And subscribe because we're building a community of strong women who are ready to heal without the hype. Here is to clarity, confidence, and loving life after 50. And until next time, be good to yourself and be good to others.